All right, for anybody who's listening, this is a 1948 Olympia Elite typewriter. It's from a post-war model, and there are a couple of issues that I am working on diagnosing. First, here you can tell that on the red setting, that red means that it types on the bottom of the ribbon, that it seems that all the letters are okay. On the black setting, which types on the top of the ribbon, there are some concerns with the letters cutting off, especially this line of T's here. See how there's a long string of T's, and then I was messing with the shift motion on the end of that line, but see how it cuts off about halfway through. Same thing with the J's. So just doing a cleaning here of the segment, which is where all your type bars sit, in an effort to see if it's a cleanliness issue or if there's something further. So that's what I'm working on here. So you are welcome to ask any typewriter questions that you have. I'm happy to answer as best I can. All right, what I'm doing now is looking way down here in these are called fish hooks because they resemble fish hooks, and I'm looking to see if there are any that are bent or out of alignment or anything that looks suspect. This is just a little bit of mineral spirits, odorless mineral spirits on a watercolor brush. I'm just going to wipe any excess stuff that's down here. This machine's actually pretty clean, so don't really need a whole lot of cleaning. So we can see here, this is a little trick that I learned when looking at alignment. If the top letter is somewhat off and the bottom letter is off, you can load it up with the top ink here and then come back down and test it and kind of see where you're landing here. So on this ribbon, you can see, zoom in a little bit, that we're landing right in the middle. So the bottom alignment is actually almost, I'm not going to say perfect, but it's almost perfect. The top is okay, but those two letters are still sticking just a little bit. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to make just a small, minuscule adjustment down on the bottom. Let's see. Let's try this again and see what happens. Let's do this too. I'm going to pull this ribbon vibrator. This is your ribbon vibrator. Pull this up just a touch. Put just a touch. little bit of corrosion on the back of this here. So that could be the problem. It could be any number of anything. And this is just a small amount of mineral spirits on a very small brush. I just want to get all that corrosion, dried ink, eraser shavings, whatever was on this machine before. Get all that stuff off of there, and you can see it's starting to break up just a touch. Bring that back down. Okay. Oh yeah, see, it's still hanging a little bit at the beginning. Actually, it's okay there. That looks like a good line of T's. Looking at our typing earlier, the J's were lagging just a little bit. You can see the top of the J is cut off here. So let's see. Okay, red's nice. You can see they were getting a little bit of the cross-pollination there, if you will, since it's summertime. Those actually aren't bad. See, now we're cutting off the top of those. 1948. Okay, so that's okay. All right, so what I'm doing now is down here on the very bottom of this machine, I'll show you way down here in the guts. There is, so this is called your universal bar. Actually, sorry, this is your universal bar up here. This bar is what controls the alignment, which is your spacing. So the problem that we have, it looks like now, is that the ribbon vibrator, which is what carries that ribbon, is not coming up far enough. So what needs to happen is we need to make an adjustment. Get some light down here. Actually, let's do it like this. Okay, here we go. So way down in here, I'll zoom in just a touch. You'll see that you can make some adjustments. There's adjustments here and there's adjustments here. And this controls the universal bar. And this is what I was manipulating earlier. And as that gets manipulated, what we see here. So as we manipulate it, it causes this ribbon vibrator to come up. And what happens with these things over time, they get shipped and moved around. This machine has a standard German layout. As you'll notice that quartz Z, the Z's here, the Y's here, that standard German layout. There's no currency symbol. So this machine most likely came to the US from overseas, most likely from Germany. So as these things age, they get out of balance, they get out of shape, and they just, cut some layers off. So we're going to make some adjustments there, try to move this ribbon vibrator so that it comes up just a touch higher, and see if that resolves our J and K problem. So here we go. And we want to adjust this so that it travels up more, just a little bit up more. So I'm going to let me turn my headlamp back on. I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to undo this screw. Actually, I need a bigger screwdriver. There we go. Going to undo here. Oops. Typewriter repair on live is not exactly fun, but here we go. Okay. So we're going to loosen this just a touch. Okay, so it's not plugging. So I got just a little bit of Marvel Mystery Oil. I'm going to put just a dot right there. That's about all you need. Just let that sit a little bit on this one too, in case we need to pull those out, but I don't really want to do all that. I'm just going to let it sit. Let's try that again. So I'm going to budge. So let's try this. Okay, it should be moving. There it goes. Okay, perfect. Just try to get you down here so you can see. So we want to move this up just a touch. So I'm gonna pull it about here because it's sitting kind of low. So I'm gonna pull it up about here. And let's do this. Let me use these hemostats just to try to lock this. Actually, that's not gonna work. Try this little hook. This is a hook from lockpick set. I just want to hold it like, so you want it to sit in that position. We're going to bring it up just a touch, and then we're going to lock it down. Let's see what that does. All right, so let's see if that makes any difference. And so for reference, that was pulling that motion out. Okay. All right, so now we see the difference on the first strike. All right, whereas up here, I'm sorry, let me zoom you in just a touch so you can see the difference. Okay. So see here on these J's how these are sort of cut off. And then we've got a better J here. So that's what that adjustment makes, is it moves that ribbon vibrator up so it sits in a, gives it a little bit more space. Think of it sort of like a, I guess shocks on a car. I guess if you have old worn out shocks, it's gonna, you hit a pothole, it's gonna bounce. Whereas here, hopefully it's working okay. All right, let's see, let's check the rest of our lowercase. So see now I'm noticing that the ribbon is up more, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it may impede when you're typing on this, seeing the letters that you write. Whereas before, we have full visibility, now we have slightly less. So the most important piece now is to make sure that as this ribbon vibrator comes up, that it goes back down as well. It's quite common on any of these typewriters that have, I don't know if you want to call it a gun sight or a bomb sight or whatever you want to call it. Any of these machines that have this guide here, it will tend to, over time, come out this way and it'll hang up on this ribbon vibrator. That was originally the issue on this before I turned the camera on. So I just kind of pushed this back. So just be mindful if you're ever working on these kind of machines, that this metal will bend and it'll break. And if it breaks, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but you know, hey, your choice. Okay, now so the D's cut off a little bit. So the F is cutting off at the top, and the rest of these look okay. We just may need to move it up just a hair more. Let's put on the red setting and see what happens. Okay. See how that ribbon vibrator is hanging? We're going to have to adjust that. And I don't know if that's... Let's type the one on the Z backwards because they're in different locations on the German keyboard. So on the A's, all our letters look okay except that D. That D is tagging the top of the black piece of the ribbon. And as you can see down here, I kind of use that as a reference point. So you can see if I rewind this ribbon back just a hair, you can see how the ribbon, how the letters are sort of printing in the middle. And that's okay, that's what we want. But then we're starting to get towards the top. And then that D has almost cross the margin or cross the middle of this ribbon. Let's call it the Rubicon. Um, and we don't want that to happen. We want to try to get as clean of type as possible, which this is all good. All the letters look okay except that D. So we want to, and if it's just one letter, because you'll know on the ascending piece of this serif, the F is good, right? And the D is not. So the F, and the L are all at the top. So that's what I'm working on. Sorry. The D, the F, and the L. See you later. Bye.